The Buck versus Marty. Can the Nigerian nightmare Kamaru Usman turn back the clock and defeat the up-and-coming Joaquin Buckley, or will new mansa Joaquin Buckley retire Kamaru Usman for good? In this video, hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Salam alaikum to everyone.
It is a matchup that came surprising to a lot of MMA fans because most people, including myself, did not really think that Kamaru Usman would take that fight. Now why? Because Kamaru Usman's last fight was at middleweight quite a while ago, and even though his last win is forever ago, he is still the guy that you feel like, hey, if he wins one fight, he's again in line for a title shot, just because he reigned supreme so long. He nearly beat GSP's record back in the day when he had 15 wins going for himself. He was on the verge of getting that, not GSP, sorry, Anderson Silva's record of 16 wins back-to-back, right? When he was winning against Leon Edwards in the fourth round, got knocked out, or was it the fifth round? God damn it. Got knocked out by Leon Edwards, and all those record dreams were snatched from him. And ever since, he hasn't won a fight, and he's still, though, somehow considered to be close to a number one contender in the welterweight division, especially with another win. So most people would have thought that he faces a guy like Sean Brady, who's also a wrestler who is number one ranked, right? Who clearly gives you a title shot once you beat him and stuff like that. But if you think about it deeply,
very deep,
Buckley is a smart matchup for him in a way that I don't think that Buckley is more dangerous for Usman than a guy like Shafkat, than a guy like Belal, than a guy like Sean Brady. They do pose different kind of threats, obviously, but I do think that they're all very dangerous for the Kamaru Usman of 2025. The Kamaru Usman of 2020 or 2021, it's a whole different story, right? But he comes back, faces the young and hungry Joaquin Buckley. Now, what is the most important factor of that fight? It's not skill, because if you go skill for skill, it is a very close battle that Kamaru Usman probably wins. Kamaru Usman is very clean and refined striking, thanks to his cooperation with his coach Trevor Whitman, right? Who really made his striking very nice, beautiful jab, knocked out Jorge Masvidal, right? A pure striker, and obviously has the wrestling background that got him to where he is now. So skill for skill, if you just go purely on technical skill and whatever, Kamaru Usman is probably the better. He's not the better athlete. I do believe Buckley is more of an athlete, but Kamaru Usman is the more refined fighter.
I need to put some respect on my name.
But the thing that plays the biggest factor in this fight is time and age. Time and age, because Kamaru Usman is 38 years old. He's close to 40, and he's not a featherweight or something, but still he's a welterweight. In welterweight, 38 is old. Of course, there's the Wonder Boys that still look fresh and young at 40 something, but normally, especially with a worn down body like Kamaru Usman has knee problems since forever that are talked about everywhere, and he always tries to deny it, but rumors are he has to walk the stairs backwards, and he always walks on the grass instead of the concrete because he can't tolerate the pain and all of that. There's some crazy stories out there about Kamaru Usman's knees that make you wonder how he can even still fight and why he's even still fighting. He made so many millions with his UFC title reign, right? But it seems like they're still healthy enough to somehow endure the pain and still fight. The hunger is still there, and he probably still wants to prove or look if he still got it, because that fight will prove if he still got it. Now, as I said, time and age. 38 years old, as I mentioned. Joaquin Buckley, on the other hand, is 31, so coming into his prime right now. The last win of Kamaru Usman, and I do think that's one of the biggest factors. The last win of Kamaru Usman was November of 2021. Nearly 4 years ago. That is a significant factor, because winning fights elevates your fighting, your whole fighting prowess in a way. Because when you're on a winning streak, when you're winning fights, you're on a high horse, you're like, no one can beat me, I'm on top of the world. You get that winning feeling on your tongue and you're like, you're the man. If when your last win is 4 years ago, you sometimes forget how it feels to even win. And of course, Kamaru Usman won so much that he probably will never forget it, but you get the analogy there. And I do wonder if Kamaru Usman still knows how to win after nearly 4 years of not winning a fight.
And I'm coming all night long.
And losing a couple of fights in that time frame as well. It's not like he just didn't fight for 4 years, right? But the didn't fight is also a big factor, which is his last fight was a short notice fight at middleweight against Hamza Chimaev, October 21st, because it was my birthday, I remember it, October 21st in Abu Dhabi in 2023, right? So nearly 2 years ago since he last fought. And especially at that age, with that kind of a worn down body, that's quite a long time. Of course, you could say maybe his body recovered in the meantime, but that's not how knees work. Knees don't just recover. When your cartilage is done and your knees are messed up, they don't recover unless you get new knees like Michael Bisping did, and that for sure doesn't help either to fight, right? So it's not like he just magically regrew his body and is now fit and healthy again and feels like 21.
Get ready, I'm a problem!
That will never happen again. Kamaru Usman is 38 years old. I'm sure he feels that he's 38 years old. Of course, he would not take that fight if he would say, hey man, I can't even train anymore and all of that. Of course, he's still training hard and all of that. And of course, Kamaru Usman has a chance to win that fight. But I do think that the youth will play a big factor. And the recent experience. Because Buckley, on the other hand, whilst Kamaru Usman hasn't fought for nearly 2 years, has fought 4 times alone in the last year. 4 times alone in the last year. And mind you, he won all of those 4 fights. Mind you, against top contenders. Mind you, his last win, 3 wins out of those 4 wins, by the way, by KO/TKO. His last win was the perfect setup for this fight. His last win was against Colby Covington, bitter rival of Kamaru Usman, who has a similar style. Now, of course, Kamaru Usman has the cleaner striking than Colby, and maybe a little bit slightly different setups for the takedowns, but at the end of the day, Colby and Kamaru are pretty resembling of one another when it comes to fighting style. And Buckley handled that test perfectly. He had the perfect hips in terms of takedown defense. He used his hips very well. Only one takedown of Colby got through, and Colby is a great... Don't forget, Colby took Usman down. I don't know if you want to debate with me, but Colby took Usman down.
What happened there? It was in the exchange that he got the takedown. That was massive.
And Colby could only take Buckley down once, and of course with Colby you can also go in depth with is he too old and all of that, but he's still younger than Kamaru Usman, right? And even when he got Buckley down, as I said, he defended the takedowns perfectly, always used his hips, used his athleticism to defend the takedowns. When he got him down, Buckley stayed calm and got up again in like a minute, right? And Kamaru Usman is not known to be a crazy finisher on the ground and you have 30 seconds to get up, otherwise you will be submitted or knocked out, right? So I do think even if Kamaru gets Buckley down, I do not see the biggest problem there, and I could see Buckley even taking Usman down. Buckley is actually a good wrestler. He might not be NCAA All-American, but he just has that NFL style, I run into you double leg takedown style, which is how he took down Nursultan Ruziboyev, who's a freaking beast, right? So Buckley has all the tools to win that fight in the striking, even on the ground, because Usman is not known to be a threat off his back. So do not be surprised if Buckley goes for a takedown. He has not much to lose there.
Hey, I'm not surprised.
In my opinion. I do not see many fields where Buckley is in danger unless Kamaru Usman hits him with a perfect strike, because as you know, power is the last thing to go, right? But speed is the first thing to go, and I do believe we will see that in that fight. I do think since those last 2 years where he looked good against Hamza at middleweight, we have to say this, I do think the speed probably went away a little bit. I do think that, and also being out of competition, the timing will be a little bit off. He may need a little bit of time to get into the fight, and Buckley will not gift it to you. Buckley will be right in your face from the beginning, stick his jab to your face, and what he does very well is he goes to the body very well, which works perfect against a wrestler like Usman, right? Going to the body prevents takedowns, and he does beautiful body work, comes up the top, and when he hits, he hurts, right? You saw with Colby the immense damage he did to Colby's face with not even that crazy many shots that landed. He does damage. Buckley is an absolutely dangerous animal in there, and I do believe it's Buckley's time. Buckley is about to not take over that division, but get a title shot very soon, and he will beat Kamaru Usman Bye, I did not even think about that. How does he beat Kamaru Usman? You know what? I go all in with my pick. I say in the 3rd round, he will KO/TKO Kamaru Usman. I do not know if he knocks him out cold, but he definitely finishes him in the 3rd round. This is my official prediction. Joaquin Buckley by 3rd round KO/TKO against Kamaru Marty Fake Newsman. No, all respect to Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman in UFC Atlanta, and Kamaru Usman retires after that. Happy retirement in advance, Kamaru Usman. This is my official prediction. Write your prediction in the comments, you guys. Who do you think and how? Who do you think wins and how does he win? Write in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Would appreciate that. Check out my merch, bloodsport.net. Worldwide free shipping with the code FREE. Check it out, you guys. Links in the bio. Stay bloody. Until the next one. Bye-bye. Bloodsport out.